Hey everybody, Cream Crazy here, and as you can honestly tell by looking at my face, I've just woken up. Yeah, I wouldn't normally do a Raw review right now, but then again, after last night, I feel the need to, and I wouldn't normally sleep this long after watching the wrestling the night before, but then again, if something is that bad, I want to sleep on it and forget about it, but I couldn't, because it was that bad. Everybody, this is the day after the night before. I won't normally do a video like this, mostly because it's a bit stupid to do run like this, but then again, if Raw is that or SmackDown is genuinely that bad, I will probably have to do it anyway. Now, I was going into Raw optimistic, thinking, okay, this could be an okay show, because every week I always go into Raw with an optimist look at things. And okay, if you can hear noise outside, it's just the house is a bit busy. I'm doing this down here because the internet connection's good. I go into Raw every week feeling optimistic because every show could be decent in some form, I always think. I thought the show was okay for a little while, until reading everybody's sentiments online and really not understanding why people were being negative. It then hit me. It then hit me during the watching of this show that, how do I put it? Because the British Fist summed it up with the title of their review. Complete shit. This Raw, I wouldn't normally be one person to criticise WWE at the snap of a finger, because normally I'm the guy who doesn't do it. I'm the guy who often sees good and bad, and then tries to mediate it and say to people, look, you can't be that negative about it. Fact is, let me put it this way. If I'm agreeing with the usual negative people that follow WWE nowadays, it proves something is wrong. Because I don't normally say out and outright something is really shit. But this Raw took the biscuit, and fuck it. It didn't just take the biscuit, it took the tin that they're in. It didn't just take the tin they were in, it took the house and it took the kitchen that tin was in. And it was even more shit than that, it took the house as well. It was, to put it the most blunt way, awful beyond all compare. Now, we start off with AJ in the ring talking. Now, obviously this feud is taking a huge amount of time, and we need to know that people are actually interested in it. I can say that's something we can prove. I'm interested in this feud. The only problem is, you shouldn't put AJ on the mic on her own, because you think about it, that's the one thing she's lacking in a way. She was very slow in terms of pacing. She put so many long pauses in, we lost interest quickly. And to be honest with you, I don't like that, because honestly, you can tell WWE is heavily scripting its promos when they take long pauses for dramatic effect, allowing people to get bored, and then you end up hearing what chants for a big feud. That isn't right. It shouldn't be that way. Everybody knows it shouldn't be that way. And it happened every single time she talked. She was so plodding in pace. You got interest lost really quickly. Of course, Bryan and Punk saved the segments by actually doing what a good mic worker should do, making it feel like they're actually talking. And to be honest with you, that's why I love Bryan and Punk for their mic work. They are good mic talkers. And that's the thing. They saved any segment that they were involved in because they can actually fucking talk. But unfortunately, people obviously complain, saying, oh wow, AJ got more mic time than Punk. Oh, Punk's a shit champion. To be perfectly honest with you, the segments were not really too bad. I mean, they were a bit baffling, thinking, whoa, random crazy bitch proposals, you think that's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It was ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that the fucking anonymous Raw GM is back. And that was the start of the ticking time bomb that turned out to be me that last night. Because that was the one moment that made me go, oh, for fuck's sake, no, please, don't put this guy back in. Because I was really not sure who was going to do this, who was going to be Raw GM this week. It happened to be the anonymous GM. I wanted to punch the screen. The fact is, people were so pissed. I got annoyed at some people who were pissed off that Zack Ryder wasn't hosting the show. He wasn't the GM. There's a reason why he wasn't the GM, because he won the fucking SmackDown Battle Royal to host SmackDown this week. If you didn't, I watched most of SmackDown and I knew that was happening. So, if some people can't remember what happened on Friday, then they are really either not watching, or they really just don't give a shit. And that's really bad, just to put it out that way. Then, I will get on to the next criticism I have of this show. This show, you know what I said in my top 10 WWE wish list? Of every match, or a Raw or SmackDown, has to be at least 1.25 or 1.5 to 2.5 star standard to keep the wrestling interesting for us. It wasn't that. No, this was completely the opposite of what I wanted to see happen. We got really short, pointless matches that didn't do much. Okay, sure, Tensai beating up the faces at ringside after that tag match did fuel some antagonism going into this match. At Money in the Bank, we saw Heath Slater lose to Sin Cara in a way to build Sin Cara for the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's fine. He then brought back Bob Backlund came out and basically got the crossface chicken wing on Slater, which I was a bit happy about. But then again, they shouldn't have picked that awfully shit music for Backlund. It would have not had a bad reaction. Then again, I think some people were saying online to me, it's because people don't know about Bob Backlund, because WWE doesn't like to put their history out there. Fact is, he worked with TNA for a couple of years, therefore he will not be mentioned a lot. I think there were some other ones. Yes, there was another match on this card. There was, of course, the ridiculous nature of this tag match, which, okay, we had the four members of the Money in the Bank ladder match from Raw in a tag match. Now, I can understand the match had 2 ad breaks in it. And people criticised WWE saying, look, you can't stick ad breaks all the time, but then again, their sponsors need money. The fact is, what baffled me wasn't what was going on in the ring, because it was okay action-wise. The only problem I had with it was the ending. Because I said this on Facebook. Honestly, it annoyed the crap out of me that you can... Have you ever seen the instance where a guy who is the illegal man pulls the legal man out of the ring to stop a pinfall, and then that's given a DQ? What the fuck? I have never seen such lackadaisical bending of the rules in my life. And every time I see people pulling the guy out of the way, that's part of it. You do that. You pull the guy who is the legal man off of your partner to save the match. That does not require a DQ loss. Because Big Show hadn't hit them with a ladder at that point. He hadn't done anything to get a DQ out of it. And that's just awful, isn't it? That you get to a stage where there's no rules. That the rules are there, but they just decide to break them because they know they can. How fucking awful is that? It pissed me off. Then we get to the main event, which was really short. Hooray! I hate matches, especially main event matches that are short. Because I was looking forward to seeing this one, mostly because it continues the storyline. And I feel annoyed again. John Bryan went, no, I'm not tagging you in, allowing AJ to get the cover and win. And then she does her usual slapping both men and walking out while smiling. You think, okay, that'll make us wonder what she's going to do now. That's the problem. It left Raw on a sour note because it wasn't anything out of what we were expecting. I was saying, okay, he's going to kick him in the nuts. She's going to kick him in the nuts. No, slap instead. I thought, okay, that's formulaic. We want to be able to say, okay, we can see something a bit different. You know? Something different. But no, the storyline just keeps going on the ordinary. Love triangle with a crazy chick. It's weird, but it's... I like the feud, but this show did nothing for me in terms of building it, really. But then... oh, God. We get to the backstage segments as well, which we had Great Khali picking up an iPhone, and Santino's main shtick the entire night was trying to guess who the Raw GM was. And let me just say this. You put Khali back on TV, you know something's going wrong. You think, that's bad. You don't even have to go to the next segment, which, well, the segment, I can call it a segment, because to call this a match was stupid. Because WWE, I don't know why, okay, the anonymous GM returned. You then get some stupid idea. Somebody thinks, okay, the anonymous Raw GM is back. What's synonymous with the Raw GM who was losing that laptop? Who was synonymous with that? Oh yeah, I know what was synonymous with that. It was the Jerry Lawler-Michael Cole feud that made us want to rip our fucking hair out. It was the one that I voted the worst feud of the year last year. And they wanted us to vote on whether we wanted to see it. Now, the crowd wanted to see it because they were going mental, because they wanted to see Cole get his ass kicked, didn't they? Annoyingly, when the match started, there was no reaction whatsoever when it was voted 75 to 25. Now, I can safely say to a lot of people right now that it wasn't even that. This match was not even getting that numbers. A lot of people were voting no, but WWE likes to rig its polls, so I can sense that that was probably what happened. All it took was an airplane spin to take down Michael Cole when Booker T threw him back in the ring. You think, oh, okay, repeat. And then I thought, okay, fine, that's retribution. That anonymous GM then decides, oh, I'm going to reverse the decision because Michael Cole got unfairly hurt upon. That's not right. Even harder, you're Josh Matthews saying to the world that... Okay, I'll tell you this. This is really annoying because this is where the shit cake got topped with shit icing, people. We see Santino walk into the ring, and he basically says, "I searched everywhere. The only place that this Rod GM gonna be is under the ring." And I thought, okay, either somebody is hidden under there because they know they can't be found, because one of the production crew going, okay, I'll sit under the ring, that'll be fine. I really didn't know, because I often forget. I often forget in wrestling. This made me go, okay, it could be anybody at this point, because I didn't have him on my mind. I then had Josh Matthews getting an email saying, no, no one's under the ring. Nobody is under the ring. And I think, anyone could do that with any slight desperation. You could put a character on, knowing that if he was sending an email, he would say he would write it in script form, shouting, "No, there's nobody under the ring." But no, Josh Matthews goes, "No, there's nobody under the ring." And I will tell you, it's just, you think, oh God, you can't even portray that correctly. I know because you're reading off a computer screen, you don't need to insert emotive response, but to me, you got to do it. Then Santino tries getting pulled out of the ring. Jerry Lawler pulls him out, and whoa! Who is it on this Raw GM? Who could it be? Who could the most annoying storyline in history, in terms of the longest unresolved build ever be? Who could it possibly be? We then get thrown with that shit icing. We get that spread on top of that shit cake, and it's piled high, because it is none other than that stupid little bastard midget Hornswoggle. That's right. That little midget is the Raw GM. What the fuck is that? That made me go... I didn't want to watch any more of Raw at that point. I was saying to myself, for fuck's sake, they're treating us like dipshits. Because I just also remembered, not only did that happen, they brought Drew McIntyre back to get squished. They brought Drew McIntyre back on TV to get squished by Brodus Clay. Repeat of the Royal Rumble match, which I thought was awful. You then look at the other match. What else? What other match could there be? Oh yeah, Sheamus flattening Swagger in a couple of seconds. The matches did not last more than 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, sure, the tag team match did, but the DQ was crap. And there was only one good thing I could pull out of Raw last night. There was one shining light that I could pull out of Raw last night. And you know what that was? Because if you were watching, you know what that big thing was. Eve Torres made herself loved by the IWC. Because she pointed out to CM Punk, "You're being overshadowed by John Cena, The Rock, Triple H, Big Show, even Brock Lesnar. Doesn't that feel emasculating? Good luck out there tonight." And that was in everybody was saying, wow, Eve Torres has spoken the truth. Eve Torres has actually said what we think, that CM Punk is one of the most underpromoted WWE champions of all time. It's true. It's damn true. And that's the only thing I actually went, awesome. That was the one thing I said, cool, that was good. Because, okay, there were some parts of last night I put on a naivety head from a couple of years back when I was the super fan that I am. I just didn't really look at everything and say, okay, that's piss poor. I was trying to remain positive all night. But as the night went on, everybody, it dawned on me. It dawned on me, like it probably did everybody else from the start of the evening, that this Raw was nothing more than complete bull. There was really short matches, random shit going on, Hornswoggle and Brodus Clay getting airtime, and Hornswoggle being the anonymous Raw GM. I don't even want to say the fact. I've already said my reaction. It was awful, and I don't want to ever mention it again. Now, I came out of this Raw a bit angry, but more or less speechless, more or less bemused about what was happening, because I know the 1000th episode of Raw is only 2 weeks away. And I can sense that the people are we're looking forward to it, right? We're looking forward to this. The only problem is, ladies and gentlemen, the only problem is that we're not looking forward to Money in the Bank now. This Raw has not sold Money in the Bank to us. It's, I think, driven away more pay-per-view buys than you could shake a stick at. And not to mention, how are we supposed to be looking forward to the 1000th episode of Raw when the last couple of weeks have been slowly declining in terms of quality? Because seriously, next week's Raw, probably because it's after a pay-per-view, may have something good on its hands. I don't know if that's going to be true. It could have something good on its hands. I don't know. Because honestly, we don't know who that last GM is going to be. We don't know... Wait. Yeah. We don't know who it's going to be. We don't know who is going to be champion at the end of the night. Because a lot of people, I was talking to Mike Orman, and he's saying to me, like we were both thinking the same thing. AJ could walk out of Money in the Bank with the championship. She could pull an Austin like he did, pinning Kane and Undertaker at the same time when he was guest ref. That could happen. And people are saying, wow, this could be the one thing that happens. And a lot of people would probably say this is bullshit for happening. But the fact is, everybody, this Raw, that left one question on my mind. That was the one question it left. Because that was one thing. I'm still interested about what will happen in the WWE Championship match. The rest of these matches, I don't honestly know if I should give a shit, because this Raw has sucked every bit of enthusiasm I have out of my body for wrestling right now. And that's really bad. Because I'm not a guy who watches TNA, okay? But even I, based on the reviews people have been given, may want to give Destination X a watch. Because, okay, I know Austin Aries becoming champion is a massive thing. But if Raw keeps putting out shit like this, I may really worry about the future of WWE. Because the creative team are running this to the ground. Do they treat us for suckers or what? Because we're getting up to a gigantic magnitude episode of Raw. The 1000th episode, which I won't be watching because I'm on a plane at that time. But seriously, for the world, I want to ask, how has WWE stooped that low? How has WWE gone this low? Because I remember WWE being a little bit shit last year, and I was saying, okay, they always go through a bit of a crap spell. Now, it recovered, and then it dipped again. It recovered, then it dipped again. This is probably the biggest downward spiral in terms of creative decision-making I've ever done. And seen before. I don't know whether it's Vince McMahon having his head so far up his arse. Because, okay, if all these decisions are Vince McMahon's decisions, then this will prove my point that the guy has no touch on how wrestling should be. Because this was a definition of fast, quick booking with no substance. This was a one show where it was sport entertainment, mic work all the way, crap segments, very short wrestling matches. This was exactly what a lot of people complain about, and I know now, based on that is the definition of pure bullshit. And everybody, I have never done this before, but I've never found an episode of Raw to be so shit in my life. I've probably seen some shit episodes of Raw, but due to my naivety back years ago, I wouldn't have known it for being shit. I saw SmackDown episode after SmackDown episode last year that was shit, and I decided to boycott the thing. Now, I will not obviously boycott Raw because it's Raw. I therefore have a duty to watch because it's Raw. I will say this. I'm doing something I've never done before. I am going to nominate the entire episode of Raw for the 9th of July 2012 as for the Worst Moment of the Year award. Okay, you may be telling me right now, hearing that news at the 20-minute mark, how can it possibly be that bad when going up against shit competition this year? There are 2 candidates it's going up against so far. Michael Cole being stripped to his pants and covered in barbecue sauce by John Cena and Jerry Lawler, and Brodus Clay debuting as the Funkasaurus. That's the 2 major candidates it's going up against. You'd think it has a chance. In my opinion, it does have a chance, because it took me about an hour to realise how crap this Raw was. During the night, when I had to stop being the optimist. I had to stop being the Optimus Prime that I love being when watching WWE programming. And the fact is, it's making me really delusioned. Because WWE, what is going on? Have you guys decided, oh, we're writing a lot of stuff for the 3-hour 1000th episode of Raw, which now The Rock is going to be part of. We're going to see Shawn Michaels there. We're going to see DX reform. We're going to see Charlie Sheen as the media ambassador. We're going to see Brock Lesnar answer Triple H. We're going to see the new GM. We probably, in my opinion, if AJ wins the title in controversial circumstances, have it stripped from her on the 16th of July Raw, and then we will see the stupidest notion. Yeah, the stupidest notion of having a big WWE Championship Battle Royal tournament thing to crown a new champion, and the unveiling of a new belt probably. Also a new set. This is the thing. You have everything in place. But the problem is, if you spend so much time planning for the big show, you will not have the rest of the show turn out good. Because actually, I want to watch Zack Ryder's SmackDown this week just to see if it's better than this. And that probably may be a bad idea, knowing the run WWE's on, but trying to book the 1000th Raw has taken the life out of this. Because they go, oh, I'll just do this, throw it out there. And I can see why people are angry. I really can. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I've taken me too long to sum it up already, but the day after the night before, I feel like crap, because this Raw was utter crap and utter shit, and that's why I'm nominating it for the Worst Moment of the Year award as one complete show. Because I have not seen a Raw that's been made me so disillusioned as a fan before. And that's a shocking thing. Because like I said at the start of this thing, if I criticise the WWE over something that everyone else is criticising them over, something is wrong. Because I don't often do it. Guys, I've been Cream Crazy, you've been people watching. This has been the day after the night before, the Raw review from hell. I'm going to put that as my title. And I will see you for my predictions later in the week, because, ladies and gentlemen, I've got something better to do than watch wrestling right now, because I'm really not in the mood after last night. I gotta eat my sandwiches. Yay! Sandwiches are better than wrestling right now. I might actually watch TNA this weekend, so please, don't just continuously say to me, oh, he's gonna watch TNA! We've finally broken the mold of the most strongest pro WWE guy! Mostly because I'm sick of what they're putting on at the minute. Good. Cheers, guys. See you next time.